Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what was in my wallet through the first quarter of 2026. I know this type of video tends to be mostly posted at the beginning of the quarter, but in my case, I'm kind of new still, so give me a little break, no? But in this specific Qatar, there was like two trips. One was international and the other one was national. But at the same time, you have to deal with the basic daily routines. So you can kind of say that we have three different type of wallets for this quarter. The first wallet was specialized towards international travel because it was used in a cruise. This cruise was through Virgin. So there is a good thing about Virgin sometimes is like they do have some promotions running, but at the same time you could potentially get some occasional cruises thanks to some Virgin points that you could get from through credit cards. Either by, for example, American Express, Capital One, but this trip was not one of those scenarios. It was actually funded thanks to points from Chase. It was paid back when the 1.25% was through the Chase Sapphire Prefer. So it was a little cheaper. Before I start explaining each of the wallets, I'm gonna be saying something. This household is a hybrid setup team. So we ended up making points, passing time, earning cash back. But most of the focus tends to be mostly into the cashback, or if we can get some points that are, for example, the Chase Freedom Flex, that it could be both of them. Of course, we will give more priority. With that, first, we're going to be talking about the cards. In this cruise, we were taking the University of Illinois Credit Union Visa cashback card, which provides a 5% in travel and gas. Yes, we maybe didn't need too much gas because it was a cruise, but we still have to drive in order to get there. So, of course, in those specific travels, we need gas, and that comes in handy because we have that 5%. Thankfully, it works through Costco, Sam's Club, and regular gas stations, so we don't have to worry about anything. And when it comes into travel, yes, we did not pay the cruise with this car, but it comes great when it comes into the accidental charges. For example, anything that you charge towards the room, things in general, the Wi-Fi package, and things like that were code as travel because it will go through the, in this case, Virgin, and it will register as such. So we are able to manage and work through the back door in order to still get some benefits. And in my case scenario, I prefer the 5% over a 2% or a 2x. If we qualify those points for 2 cents for value, then that means we gain a 4% back. 5%, we don't have to worry, we don't have to spend more time. I feel it's better in general. So 2.5 for in this specific scenarios, it makes sense for us. In these specific scenarios, at the same time, we like to take the Venture X card, which is a 2x back. And this is mostly because it's a card that has no foreign transaction fee. So if we were to go to land, to one of the islands, be shopping stuff, of course, we would kind of prefer to use those cards that have no foreign transaction. So we don't have to worry about 3% charge and things like that. And when you are sometimes international, you don't know exactly what type of processor they are, especially with those little stores or things like that. So why kind of risk it trying to guess if it works or doesn't work? And you can just literally just carry one card with you and that's it. And lastly, one of the other cards, which is not a credit card, but it's a debit card that we tend to use when it comes into international travel. Talking about the Shops One brokerage, very much is the sister of the other. I think it's called Platinum Carol Schwab debit card, which very much share the same benefits, and the way to fund those accounts are different. The benefit from these Carol Schwab's debit cards is the fact that you can go anywhere and use any ATM that you want, and they will reimburse you any ATM fees or things like that, and you don't have to worry because I also has no foreign transaction, so that means that you could take it everywhere in the world without have to worry. Because I know there are some few cars that it might work in the United States but might not work internationally, or there are other cars that might reimburse you some money in the United States. For example, the other card they have is the Navy Federal debit card, which that tends to be the case. It gives you, in my case, $20 in ATM fees rebates, but that works in the United States. For the second trip, it was towards Florida in Orlando, Daytona area, where we stayed there for a very 4 nights, and it was nice. But we have to use when it comes to the adventures again the Illinois card where we get 5% in travel. And of course, we have to travel over there. We have to get some gas. So here comes in handy that 5% as well. In this scenario, we did actually take the Chase Freedom Flex with us in physical, even though we could use it for mobile. But you never know, especially in the Daytona area, which people would think is very popular and very civilized, but the coastal area is not so much. So you never know exactly if they are okay or not accepting mobile payment. We did carry again our Venture X for the 2X for Andy Nows and as a cash out card. In this specific scenario, we did carry a different card compared to the last wallet. And it's the fact that yes, we did not carry the ATM card from Charles Schwab, but we did carry the Discovery card, which right now, since we are in the first year, we do get the 10% cash back, the 5% base plus another matching, therefore making it a 10 total. In this specific quarter, we having it as groceries or wholesales, which we use a lot when it comes into, for example, Food Lion, Codex, Sam's Club, definitely a lot. And that kind of took the place of two cards sometimes. One being the Blue Cash Prefer and the PayPal debit card with 5% cashback. Unfortunately, it's a card that doesn't work on Costco, and that's the store that we actually went the most when we were down there for some reason. Even though Sam's Club is maybe some miles away, but for the area that we were mostly, it was not a scenario. Technically, you could say that we did carry a car, which in this scenario is ID, and in my scenario is a military ID, so it helps with sometimes few discounts here and there, but sometimes 10% here and there actually make some money, especially when you get the 10% discount. That's the whatever 3 to 5% you give extra. So you keep the ball running. Through Orlando, we ended up visiting the Chase of Green, which is a military resort next to Disney. But that's just to get some estimates, and they do sell some passes and things that you could use for Disney and Universal and other places. At least the passes that we did use are military annual passes, So we might end up going back during summertime, but we use a 3 day pass that costs per person 250. And once we get in time, we deactivate some stuff, so we have to use the Chase Freedom Flex, which of course is nice thanks to those 7% back. And if you wonder when it comes into daily life, what type of cards we carry. We tend to carry, at least in this quarter, the Venture X as a cash out card. We in this specific quarter we carried a lot the Discovery card, like I say, for groceries and wholesales. And at the same time, we were carrying the Chase Freedom Flex along with the Illinois card for gas monthly expenses. The good thing is that, for example, stores such as Food Lion, Publix, you don't have to actually carry your card because you can pay with your phone. And when it comes into Sam's Club, it's the same thing. You can just have the card on file and pay through that. So the only store that we did have to worry about were pretty much Costco, Walmart, Target. So the only card that would fit into those bills at the moment would be the PayPal debit card with 5% back. As you can tell, most of the time we don't carry more than 5 cards, even though we have in the back a lot of cards. But we did say, what you guys do you think about the wallet that we carry throughout this quarter? What do you carry? That would be very interesting. And with this, see you later and bye bye.